morning. Welcome back to episode 5, I believe. Episode 5, I think. First job is replacing that old bit of timber, the sagging timber, for something a little bit better. So here's a time lapse. Like with a lot of old houses, all the lintels are made out of timber, so we replace this one with a steel. Much better. Fabulous. Now that this steel is in there, we've put the up here. This steel is in here. We've put the timber in the steel, in the webbing. Just got to wait for all of this to go off, and then tomorrow we can take this acro down so it settles wherever it's going to settle, and then we can screw in all the joists, take these acros out, and finally get them off hire. We've had them for a little while, a little bit longer than I wanted to, but there we go. Anyway, we are doing some stud work. Yay! Carpentry. Plates. The first ones down are called plates, so they hold your uprights, which go in here. This is a very specific build for this, so I'm pretty sure it's 600mm centres, which just means your studs, the upright bits, are 600mm apart. So there's 2 at the bottom, 2 plates, and 2 top plates as well, and then your studs in between. And then in between that, 120mm Celotex, and these studs are 150mm, so you get your air gap on the outside. So yeah, it's pretty much the same as lofts, just upright with 600 centres. So we're going to crack on with that. Okie dokie, right, it's stud work time. I've got all my measurements out here, marked all my lines. So you put a line where you want your stud, and then an X where you actually want the foot of the stud to be. It's a lot less confusing that way. What I've done is I've got my laser level set up there, and I'm going to measure down from the ladder down to the plate up to the laser. It gives me exactly the right measurement for all my studs, just in case there is a little bit of variation within the plate. So it should be bang on. Like with quite a lot of the first fix carpentry, it is relatively simple to do. Just get everything cut right, get everything measured right and square, and it should all go up relatively simply and easily. Get somebody to give you a hand as well. Lifting those big planks can be a bit of a pain. You can use a nail gun. When I was an apprentice, we always just used to use hammer and nail. Screws are also a very good option. This is where we are now. All the stud work in for that side, which is great. Got a little bit in over here, and then a little bit of the ceiling joist in there. That's coming down today because that's in the flipping way. But we had to bed this in the top, waited for that to dry, and now we're screwing and plugging the top of that, just so it's all nice and bolted down. A little bit nippy this morning, and somebody didn't bring a jumper, did they? Cold boy.
Very cold.
Stuart the welder is here, welding away, doing a great job. Fantastic. Nice. Stuart, the welding bloke, has left, but he's welded this, so we're all good to go with getting our ceiling joists in now. We've got joist hangers along here. Kira's just finishing off those ones. We've got these ones all rocking and rolling, which is great. This whole section here is going to be a big old window up there, so that's going to look pretty stunning. At the moment I'm just drilling holes through this. Just need to put these big old coach bolts through, all the way through, clamp it to the webbing. So I'm going to do that now. Oh, here on Friday. God, that's so exciting about that. Coach bolt into the hole. You just tap it in. Woo. Tap it in. Hopefully it's not pushing out the other side. If not, there we go. And then there it is. Lovely. You get your wash shut. Tighten that up. Job done. Lovely, lovely. All right, check it out. Wow, looks great. Whew. And we've got a little bit of shade, which is lovely away from this beautiful heat. Look at that, fantastic. Getting a bit of timber work in is always extremely satisfying. But yeah, wow, nice chair, wow. Yes, looks great, looks really good. Love it, love it. Well done, everybody. This is just him. Ah, and Stuart, the welding guy. Weld done. Alrighty, to get the rest of this roof finished off, to screw in the double joists, screw them together with these special bolt things, just so it keeps it nice and tight. Also, we need a box gutter running along this whole edge. So I've cut this first like a trimmer piece at an angle going all the way down, which you might be able to see. It starts at that height and then it goes down and down. It's just under, it comes there, so the water can flow down here and then into the gutter, down and over there. You only need a little angle there, you don't need very much at all. I'm going to get the rest of that end finished off over there, and I can put a bit of board down it and make sure it's got curves, and then put the lead down it as well, and then hey presto, you have a gutter. So we're going to do that. So what I did to create that gutter was I got a bit of 6-inch timber and I cut this wedge out of it. So that's a nice wedge shape down there, but that piece wasn't long enough, so I got it to there, and then I got some 4-inch timber here and used the offcut from that wedge to get it there, so it's all the same full going all the way, because it's all this cut and then the rest of the offcut of that cut. So yeah, I think in total it's about 2.5 inches from there to there, so it's only like this much full on a 6 meter run, so you don't need a lot. It's just that the water, all the rain can come down here. I mean, it can be perfectly level and still flow down. So yeah, got that done, which is great. As you can see, membrane across the whole of the back of that, just to keep all of that wall that side. Who cares about that? Yuck. So now, old K-Man just putting these tiny little battens on, as you can see, as stops, because when we push the board insulation in, you have this little 25mm breathing gap down the back. This is all breathable stuff, so air can get up and make sure all the timbers don't rot. So that's great. We're going to do that. I'm going to set you up on a time lapse. Nathan, part-time mop salesman, full-time legend. Honestly, if you're cutting this board insulation, you need to get one of these Festool blades. It is epic. You never guess what. The death continues. Dead flipping pigeon. Oh my knife. Why? Why is that there? Why is that there?
That's very, very recent.
Yes, it's very recent.
As in, like, today recent.
Today?
Some point today. That's good.
Morning, tea, thinking with a T. So, what we've done so far. All of the boarding up, all of the slabs down for everything, blocked in both of those doors, all of this slab, all of the footings, and now we're getting the walls insulated. It was going to be lovely and sunny, so we thought we'd get a bit of insulation done before getting the roof on, because it's more airy, and if anybody's cut that board insulation before, you know it gets pretty horrendous inside if you're cutting all that stuff all the time. I do have my Festool saw, and it is amazing, so if you know somebody with it, borrow it if you're doing the board insulation. Anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to board up all of the front of this, because that becomes structural now, and then we're going to get all the boards on the roof as well. We need to get the furrings, which are these things here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it starts quite thin and ends up quite fat. It's like 4 inches down to 0, and that gives you your slant on your roof. So you get those on the joists first, and then you put your sheet material over the top, which is that OSB over there. And then we'll have like a proper little extension. It's great. So yeah, we're going to get that done today, and tomorrow is the scaffolding. So yes, we're going up, finally. Thank you, Jesus, we're going up. I'm having a tea, and then I can get cracking.
I just went to get a hammer for you and it hit me funny bone on the steel.
So, that's horrible.
Oh, my funny bone's still tingling. Oh.
That fits. Oi. As you can see here, you have the flat roof rafters and then the furrings on top to angle all the water towards the box guttering, and then you have the OSB sheet which goes straight over the top of it. We have the unmistakable clatter of scaffolding. Nice! He absolutely loves it. While they're doing that and getting all of this scaffolding up here, we are continuing to do some insulation, which is great. So we've got these bits to go into here. So Kieran's cutting the strips, and I've got this as a jig, and I'm going to use that to cut the rest of that. they're all the same size as all of these cuts in here, and leaving that little air gap at the top for all this silly airflow that we need to do now. Anyway, cutting. Top tip, make a spare rafter to use as a template or a jig. Wow, scaffolding, yeah. We are almost done with the scaffolding. Great news, check it out. What a flipping tower. Love it. So we got this cut out bit, because we're building that bit up there. They're just getting the top out on, up here now. And then you've got the section to walk onto the flat roof when we build all that out. And then the section to work off. Huge platform, because this would have been a weird one to try and do. So we built out the whole thing, or they built out the whole thing. So we've got huge working areas, which is blinking amazing. We're just getting the last few bits of insulation board in. Not that bit. And in the meantime, I'm just filling in these little bits of brickwork, which is either fallen out or we've taken out and not put back yet. So yeah, getting little bits done in the meantime while they're doing little scaffolding. So almost there. And here we are, the full scaffolding. Love it, amazing. Climbing through the tiny entrance. I don't know why they've done that. Anyway, great, scaffolding's up. Nice. It's roof next. Here's the roof. It feels so weird up here, but tin hat, roof, excellent, great job. Well, if you've liked it, like and subscribe. Do comment if you would have done it a different way. Don't do that. Like and subscribe.